Hello and welcome. My name's Jessica. I'm a fully qualified maths teacher and today's lesson is going to be on area. So I'm very much just going to look at an introduction to area. So we're going to look at a square and a rectangle and just build from there. Okay, so this video will just be on what is area and the area of a square and a rectangle, and then follow-up videos of a triangle, a trapezium, and perhaps compound shapes as well. Okay, so when you're asked to find the area of a shape, so let's look at this rectangle for example. If you're asked to find the area of any shape is the space in which the shape occupies, okay? Area can be found for 2D shapes, then you get this thing called surface area, which you can find of 3D shapes, okay? So we'll do that video further down the line. So we're just looking at area, so just to reiterate, area is the space which is occupied by a shape. And when you're in your exam and they ask you to calculate the area of a shape, you want to say area equals and then your formula, okay? So every single time you'll write area equals formula and then you'll work it out, okay? So let's go back over that. Area is the space which is occupied by a shape. So here's a rectangle. Here's the area of the shape. The one that some people get confused with is perimeter. Perimeter is the distance the whole way round a shape, okay? So perimeter is the purple one and area is the yellow one. So perimeter is the distance the whole way around a shape and area is the space in which a shape occupies, okay? So it's, if you were thinking about your living room, the skirting board is the perimeter and the wooden floor or the carpet is your area. So let's go and do a question. So if they said, find the area of this shape. So we'll do a nice one to start. So this is a square. They might even do that in the exam to show you it's a square where all the sides are the exact same length. Okay, so it's a square. We want to find the area. So first thing we need to write is area equals. Okay, now the formula for the area of a square is length times breadth, okay? But we can just write that as L times B, okay? So length times breadth, okay? So the area of a shape, such as a rectangle or a square, is length times breadth, okay? So therefore, we're going to say, well, it's a square. So if one side is 4, all the sides are 4, okay? Because all the sides in a square are equal. So it's going to be 4, our length, times our breadth. We know they're all the same. So 4 times 4, 4 4s are 16. Now, because it's area, it's going to be centimetres squared, okay? Or units squared. So whatever it is, it has to be squared because it's area, okay? Length times length is length squared, okay? Comes into like your indices, length times length is L to the 2. Okay, but we'll not get too much into that. But you have to remember the area is centimeters squared, meters squared, millimeters squared. Okay, every single time, meters squared, centimeters squared. Let's do a rectangle. So you know in a rectangle, opposite sides are the same length. So those two will be the same and those two are the same. Let's say this is 8 meters and 2 meters. And they've asked you to find the area. Okay, so what you'll do is first thing, area equals length times breadth. Perfect. There's our formula. Next thing, what is the length? So 8 times 2. 8 2s are 16 meters squared. You cannot forget your units. Okay, perfect. Let's do another one. This time, let's do this question. So they're all the same. We'll do 6 centimeters. And then we'll look at this question where we have 10 centimeters and 2 centimeters. Okay, then we're going to move on to a wee bit of a harder one that's going to have a little extra thing attached to it. Okay, so they've asked you, find the area of these shapes. So you'll say area equals length times breadth, which equals, okay, keep your sums going in columns, okay, so they go downward. So don't do one massive line, okay? So come down. Area equals length times breadth, which equals something times something, which equals your answer and your units squared, okay? So we know it's a square, all the sides are the same length. So if one side's 6, all the sides are 6. So 6 times 6, 6 sixes, it's going to be a nice square number, 36 centimeters squared. Okay, happy? Next one, area of this rectangle. Area equals length times breadth. Formula straight away, which equals 10 times 2, which equals 10 twos are 20 centimeters squared. Perfect. Now, here's something they can do to make this a wee bit more difficult. They can say, find the area of the following shape. Okay, so let's say that this is going to be 12 centimeters and this side's going to be, let me think, let's do 0.2 millimeters. Okay, actually think I will change that to 2 millimeters just to make the sum a wee bit nicer. Okay, so here we go. So you would go straight away, find the area. We'll say, you know, first things first, formula. Area equals length times breadth, which equals 12 times 2. If you wrote that, you've just fallen into the examiner's trap. They would love for you to do that, okay? So you have to be so in tune to what actually are our units. So we've centimeters there, but we've got millimeters over there, okay? Now, we cannot mix two things of different units. We need to convert them to the same unit, okay? So I would like to work in centimeters because it's just a nicer unit of measurement for me, as opposed to millimeters, but there's no right or wrong way, okay? So you can either convert them both into centimeters or you can convert them both into millimeters. It's your choice. So let's convert this then into centimeters. So we need to decide, how do we go from millimeters to centimeters, okay? And I might do a separate video on this, and it's what I call the conversion caterpillar. So I will do a separate video on that, but how do we go from millimeters to centimeters? Do we multiply or do we divide? That's the main thing people get confused with. So you know that there are 10 millimeters, I'll write it here, 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter. Okay, so if we want to go from millimeters to centimeters, we are dividing by 10. But again, I'll do a separate video on conversions. So I'm going to say 2 divided by 10. So 2 divided by 10 is 0.2. Okay, so there's two ways of looking at it. You can either move the decimal point one space to the left or move the values one space to the right. Every way you've learned to place value. So then we're saying we've got 12 times 0.2, okay? And I'm just going to use my calculator. There's obviously numerous ways you can work that out. You can do it as 12 times a fifth, whatever works. 2.4. So we've got 2.4 centimeters squared. Okay, so you have to watch out for the ones that have got different units because it's going to completely change your sum. Then if I done 12 times 2 would have given me 24 and the sum would have been wrong, unfortunately. Okay, so bear in mind, keep an eye out for the units and be careful not to get tripped up by it. Okay, so recap: area, space which is occupied by a shape. Area equals length times width or breadth. Doesn't matter, length times breadth, length times width, same thing. So this one times this one, and your units are always units squared, whether it's centimeter squared, meter squared, millimeter squared, kilometer squared, whatever, it's going to be squared. Okay, so I hope this helps and all the best. Bye.